Hi everyone. I'm trying something different today. I wanted to give you some independent work to do, but in the form of a micro video lesson. I did this a bunch last year, and I want to see how it goes this year. So our plan today is I have this video lesson. It's going to be like 15 minutes long, and within this video, you should be watching this on Edpuzzle. If not, that means I messed up somewhere. But you should be watching this on Edpuzzle. And towards the end of this, I'm going to have 5 sentences for you to write the answer to. And you'll be able to look back at this video and see if you can get the answers right. So first thing I'm going to do is review. Okay. And I wanted to review this first question. What am I signing? School, you go where, right? School, you go where? Some of these might come up later in those questions, so make sure that you're practicing them with me, okay? And to answer that, we know we would sign what? School, I go, MMFS, right? All right. Let's review grades, as in your grade what? Do you remember how to sign your grade what? Your grade what? Right? And to answer that question, we put out our non-dominant hand. And don't forget, we always start from the top. It's the easiest to remember, right? Because the top of the school is 12th grade. You can't go higher than that. 12th grade, 11th grade, 10th grade, 9th grade. So I'm going to ask you your grade what? And please, I know I'm not there, but trust me, it helps because we're having a test. Don't forget we're having a test in like 2.5 weeks, okay? So I'm going to ask you the question, your grade what? Go ahead and answer that real quick. My grade. Everyone here should be 9th. I have a couple 10th graders. The next thing that I want to quickly review are the levels of school, because I'm going to show you some new things today in this micro lesson. Let's start with college. Non-dominant hand is flat, dominant hand rests in it, goes up, college. Next is high school. HS. I'm going a little faster here because this is the third day we're reviewing this. Middle school. Non-dominant hand is flat. Dominant hand is a drop middle finger. You circle, you touch, school. Middle school. Next we have elementary school. Non-dominant hand is flat. Dominant hand is an E for elementary and it shakes. Kindergarten, same position, but with a K. And pre-K we spoke about, right? Pull this backwards, before kindergarten, pre-K. Okay, the thing that we started yesterday are the types of school. Remember, I really emphasized the sign for type. 2 Ks, circles and touch, right? Type or kind, like what type or what kind. So let's ask the question, your school type which? Try to sign that real quick. I'll say it again. Your school type which? I'll break it down in 1 second. Your school type which? All right, let's do that again. Your school type which? All right, let's review the 6 signs that we did yesterday. Public, religious, mainstream, private, specialized, residential. Let's do that again. Public, religious, mainstream, private, specialized, residential. Now, if we're talking about our school, right, we have a couple options. Right? We could say my school type. You can say religious, it's Quaker school, right? You could say private. You could say specialized. You can say all three. You pick one or all three. All right. I want to show you I want to preview some new signs. Meaning that I'm going to show you them now and we're going to like really go into them more next week, but I want you to have an idea of what they are, what they look like. There are a bunch, right? So you got to make sure that you're signing along because you have tests in 2.5 weeks. Make sure you're practicing, okay? So let's learn some of the classes that we take. All right. You know the sign for which, right? Now we need to ask the question, class you take which is going to translate to take up. Class you take up which. So the sign for class is 2 C's. It circles and touches. Class you take up which. Let's do that again. Class you take up which. All right, so let's go over some of the classes that we take. English. The sign for math, 2 M's, and they cross. Math. History. It's an H that bounces out. You all know the sign for ASL, right? A-S-L. Next, we have the sign for gym. 2 open palms and they tap your shoulder. Gym. This one's a little more specialized to us, but it's silence. So silence, like you're silencing someone, and comes out with both hands. Silence. So let's go over those 6 again, all right? English. Math. History. ASL. Gym. Silence. Good. All right, next we have study hall. Your non-dominant hand is flat. Your dominant hand like waves into this one. It's like your eyes like studying the paper. This is just study though. This is just the sign for study. Now we have to add this next one. You're going to keep this hand here. You're going to sign the letter T. T for time period. It's going to circle and touch. All right, so let's put that one together. Study hall. Study hall. You all should remember the sign for art from when we did things that we enjoy. Non-dominant hand is flat, an eye like a pencil, and it draws art. Then we have music. If you guys should remember the sign for music, right? Non-dominant hand is flat. Music. We have advisory. All right. So the sign for advisory. Non-dominant hand is across your body with a fist. Similar to the sign for a Snapchat, right? But the opposite way. This is a sign for advise. Just advise. And advisory is a class, right? So advise, class. Advisory. Advise, class. Next, we have the sign for lunch. We're going to use the sign for eating first. So remember the sign for eating? Eating. And the sign, we're going to add one more sign to it. It's the sign for noon, as in 12 noon. Non-dominant hand is flat. Dominant hand points straight up because this is where, remember we did good morning, right? Noon is straight up. This is where the sun stays at the noon, right? So lunch is food at noon. Lunch. All right, so let's review those. Study hall, art, music, advisory, lunch. All right, we only have 4 more, okay? Next is the sign for science. 2 thumbs up. This is like beakers, like you're mixing chemicals. And they go like, you're like pouring and then pouring and then pouring and then pouring. Science. Next we have race and identity. You guys should remember the sign for race. It's the sign for ethnicity, all right? Race. Next is the sign for identity. You're going to take an I. Non-dominant hand is flat. It's going to go right into it. So race and identity. Race and identity. Then we have the sign for drama. 2 thumbs up. They go right into your body. And the last class that we have here on our list is Quaker history. I taught you the sign for history a couple minutes ago, so if you just add Quaker, if you remember it from religion, Quaker history. Quaker history. All right, so let us do that last column. So science, race and identity, race, identity, drama, Quaker history. Quaker history. All right, let's do the whole list one time, okay? English, math, history, ASL, gym, silence, study hall, art, music, advisory, lunch, science, race and identity, drama, and Quaker history. Good job. I have a couple more lists. I have one more list of people who work in the school, but I don't want to do that right now. We're going to hold that till next week. Okay. Okay. I am now going to sign 5 sentences to you. 5 sentences. All right. If this is working on Edpuzzle, which I hope it is, the question, the prompt should pop up in a minute to answer the question. All right. So here's question number 1. What am I signing? Here's question number 2. Here's question number 3. Here's question number 4. And here's question number 5. Good job. Um, I actually changed my mind. I'm going to go over the rest of the signs because I was either going to give you a flip grid to do, um, or something else. I just decided to not give you the flip grid because um, one person asked me yesterday not to. So I'm gonna try to respect that. So I'm gonna go for a little bit more, and we're gonna practice a couple more signs. Make sure that you're following along though, because we're gonna keep pushing on next week, right? So this is a preview for when we're in person. I don't want you to be missing stuff. All right. So now we're gonna talk about people who work in the school. Okay, people who work in the school. You know the sign for teacher already, right? Teach, person, teacher. Y'all remember the sign for student, right? Learn, person, student. Okay? Next, we have the sign for advisor. I just showed you that advisory is advise and class. If you've caught some of the things we've done, right, some of you might be able to piece together that advisor is advise, person, advisor, advise, person. Next, we have the sign for principal. Non-dominant hand is a fist. Dominant hand is a P for principal. It's circles and touches. This is the school, and the principal is at the top of the school. Principal. While we're on principal, let's do assistant principal. Give me 2 thumbs up. Your dominant hand goes under your non-dominant hand. It assists it up, right? Assistant, principal. Assistant, principal. Next, we have technology support. If you remember the sign for technology, we learned it, I told you, everyone forgets it, so now you remember it, right? Technology, non-dominant hand is flat, dominant hand is a drop middle finger. You touch the middle part, right? Technology. The sign for support, 2 S's. Your dominant hand supports your non-dominant hand. Support. So let's put that together. Technology support. Technology support. Next, we have language support. Language, 2 L's, and you swiggle them out like you're writing a sentence. Language, and we just add support. Support. Next, we have custodian. The people who keep our building clean, right? Non-dominant hand is flat. The first time I'm teaching you right now is a sign for clean. Dominant hand is also flat, and you push forward a few times. This is the sign for clean, right? And then you add person. So cleaning, person. Custodian, cleaning person. All right, let's do that group of people again. Teacher, student, advisor, principal, technology support, language support, custodian. Oh, and assistant principal, my bad. We have 6 more signs. Nurse, your non-dominant hand is flat. Your dominant hand is a U. It's like you're checking your pulse. Nurse. Nurse. Next, we have the sign for coach. It's a C that shakes by the same side shoulder. Coach. Coach. Then we have the sign for receptionist, the person that you see at the front desk every day. It's a writing person. Writing person. I know it looks like writer, but in the context of school and work buildings, it's receptionist. Then we have maintenance. It's the people who work in the building here, who fixes all the things. It's whenever something breaks, they help us, right? So that translates to building work person. You do 2 U's, and you build something up, right? Building. The sign for work is 2 A's, right? It's 2 fists, and the contact is with your wrist, right here. Work. So let's put that together. Maintenance, building, work, person. Next we have social worker. Your non-dominant hand is flat. Your dominant hand is an S. So sort of like rock, paper, scissors, right? But it goes from S, social, to W, worker. Social worker, social worker, social worker. And the last sign that we have for today is security. It's a C. It's basically the sign for cop, right? It's a C for cop, and it's right over your heart because this is where a badge goes. Security. And let's go through that list. So nurse, coach, receptionist, maintenance, building, work, person, social worker, security. And let's just do that whole list of people who work in a school, and that is it. Teacher, student, advisor, principal, assistant principal, technology support, language support, custodian, assistant principal, oh, I did read that one earlier, nurse, coach, receptionist, maintenance or building work person, social worker, and security. All right. I hope this video lesson went well. We'll see. I'll ask you guys next week. I hope you all have a great weekend. What I like about this is if you have any if you forget anything, you can always refer back to this, right? Because I'm not allowed to record a Google Classroom, but I can give you a video lesson. So if you want to review anything, you have this whole lesson to look at. And don't forget that we have a test in like 2.5 weeks, so make sure you review all of our signs. And I'm going to update our running vocab list with everything new. All right? Bye, everybody.